Hey everyone, good afternoon. Welcome back to the Neo4j Twitch channel. My name is Adam. So today we're going to go through, again, looking at Neo4j and TypeScript and building applications with Neo4j and TypeScript. So for anybody who is new to the stream, anybody that hasn't watched before, all of the code that I produce is available somewhere up on GitHub. So for today, I'm going to be looking at this Neoflix example. So Neoflix is a fictional streaming service. All of the code available for here is up at github.com/adam-cowley/twitch-project. And there's a few pieces of code inside this project. So the data, I'm moving around the API now. So if you've watched previous sessions, and the data model might be slightly different to what it was. But essentially what I want to do is to make it work with the Neo4j recommendation sandbox. So the data is essentially the same. There's just a few little caveats. But inside this project, so there are a few folders that we can take a look at. So we've got, for example, the API folder. So that's an application built with Nest.js and a plugin that I wrote off the back of these streams called Nest Neo4j. And it's basically a REST API which handles communication to the Neo4j server via the front end. The UI, which is a work in progress, so I spent one session on this. But it's basically a UI built with Vue 3 and also using Tailwind CSS and the composition API. So there's some basic functionality there. Basically, the login and the register works. Everything else is still hasn't been built yet. But you can open that. You can install dependencies and you can run against the database. And then the admin, so this is what I was working on last week, and this is what we'll focus on today. It's basically a graph app, so like an extension of Neo4j desktop. And this is built with React and some hooks that I've started to build out in a library called use Neo4j. And then the UI there is semantic UI. So at the end of last week, the app looks a little bit like this. So basically, the idea behind this is it's a small in-house application that the admin staff can use to basically administer the website. So at the moment, there's just a basic application there. There's a basic search, so I can start to search, and then it displays me the results. And then what I can do is I can go into a movie and I can make some changes, and then they get updated in the API. And this is great. So this is I mean, it is great, but it's a pretty basic application. So we have the home component at the moment, and this is quite a specific component here at the moment. So I've got the component there, so it's a functional component. And it basically uses the semantic UI to build up the UI, and then this set of search results which react on this query state. And then it uses the use read cipher hook to run the query. If anything changes in terms of the props that get passed through, so for example the text box, then it will rerun the query. And then displays them as in a grid as cards. So basically, as things change, the database gets hit, and the results are returned. But yeah, so like I said, this is kind of a specific approach. So what I want to do today is I want to build a reusable component I can use across the application. So basically, a lot of the content and a lot of the I guess like the list pages or the index pages, there'll be basically tables of information. So what I want to do is build a component which takes a prop through, which is the base cipher query to run, and then what I want the component to do is to react to the changes in the query. And then render the results out in a table. So I want to do that in a kind of generic way. So in theory, if I could just write one query and then pass that through to the component which then takes care of everything else. So the only thing I need to change in order to build different list pages for each one of these, each one of the labels that I have, or these top level entities, is to basically just write a cipher statement. So the aim is to do something that looks a little bit like this. So basically, what I want to do is to render this table. I'm going to do some sort of interesting visualization of the data. So, for example, we can call this like an overview of a node that we can then display in a table. If we've got, for example, like subscribers, we can stick in like an icon and a number. Maybe for the genres, we can display some semantic UI labels. And on top of that as well, we want some buttons as well, so we can add like an edit button there, so user can click to edit. So I'm going to be using these Neo4j components. So basically everything is there, but we use this use read cipher hook, which takes a cipher query, which is a string, a set of params, and then optionally a database as well. So we're not using multi-database at the moment, so we don't need to worry too much about this. And then we call that function, and then that gives us an object of containing these items. So we've got the result state there. So we've got the cipher that we've run, the parameters that we've run it through, the database that we've run it on, and then some sort of reactive components. So some reactive some variables that change. So under the hood, there's a use state function there. So we can listen for whether the query is loading or not. If there's an error, then it will be assigned to the error. If there's a result, then we can get access to the query result, which is direct from the Neo4j driver. We can take the records, and then we can run a map function on that to then pull all the information out. If we only care about the first one, we can call the first function to get the first row. The first variable to get the first row. And something that I've added since last week is this export of the run function. So basically, what happened was if I pass the params through to the effect, or the internal effect, it was causing like a rendering reloop. So instead, what I've done is I've looked at some of the other libraries that are out there, and I've come across this this method. So we've got this run function, so we can use an effect which listens to, for example, the changes to the query string or the movie title. And then we call the run function again in order to actually refresh that query. Cool. Since last week, I've also added a lazy query, so I don't think I'll get time to look at these. But basically, it's kind of a way of running a query, but in a sort of lazy way. So you may not want the query to run straight away, but you want that run function to run at some point. So basically, this allows you to define a cipher query that you can basically gets added to the hook. And then you can then call update movie at any point during the component's lifecycle. In this case, or this callback function with some properties, with the parameters, and also with the database optionally as well. And then you can handle the result that comes out of there. Cool. So let's get back to here. So I'm going to be using the semantic UI React again. So basically just like a set of components, React components here that allow me just to build the UI a little bit more quickly. It's so if you look at Neo4j desktop, you might see some things that are familiar there. Cool. Okay. So if we go to the code, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a component. I'm basically going to swap out this search results, and then the home component with this new component that I'm going to write. So I'm going to call this a cipher table. So I'm going to export default function cipher table, and that will take some props. So these props, I want to create an interface for that. So I basically want to define what those what the props will be that we get passed through. So I want to take the cipher statement. So it should be a string, and I want to take the no, I guess we just need the cipher statement there. So the idea is that this statement will be something like, match m movie, where m dot title contains this query parameter and then returns the movie. Then it will get displayed below. Cool. So I guess I can take some of the values from this this home component. So I can take this query and I can add it in there, and I can add the container there that's got the styling that we want for that. Cool. So just import dependencies there. And that's just for now, let's just pass out that query to make sure that it works. So inside this home component, I want to import the cipher table. From components and then cipher table. And then what I can do is basically just sort this out. So I can say that there's a cipher table. And then for the prop, so I want the query. So let's just say for now that the query is match and return. Cool. Yeah, okay. Cool, and I can pass that through as a prop. Cool, and if I switch over so we can see the page there. So what's happening at the moment is as the value changes, then the component is reacting, which is what we want. Cool, I can hide all that for now. Okay, so I want to use this this hook to actually get the data out. I don't want to say that the so I want to take the loading on the records as well, and I want the run function as well. So from use read cipher, and then the cipher statement is props dot cipher. Should be that string there that gets passed through. I pass that query through because it's expecting that query there. Cool. And I could just say for now results records dot length. Add a limit on there. Good shout. Yeah, nice one. So on that interface there as well. and I want to use an effect. So basically when the query changes, I want to call that run function again with the query as a parameter. Not sure what happened. Cool. Yeah, that's the joy of live coding is that things sometimes go wrong. Cool. Okay. So I guess we could do like a results equals loading. So there's a loader that comes with the semantic UI. So I can just add that in there. So that'll give us the results. Cool. And so if records and records.length, if there's no records.length, so I just want to do like a like no results found for query. Perfect. Stick that in a strong tag. Cool. And again, I'll create like a search results component here. We'll import the type for now. I want the results there, and I want there. So the props, I want the records. Cool. So I've got the records there. So basically what I do is just build up a table, so I can guarantee that there are some results there. So I can start to return and build out this table. So if I look at the table in the semantic UI, so it's not best view. I'm going to make that a bit bigger. Cool. So we take that as an example. So we've got the table there. We've got the header. We've got the table cells, the row cells. Table. So we want the table header. We want header cells there. So what we want to do is build up basically a list of all of the headers. So records is always going to be so records is always going to be a list of records, and then those records come from the Neo4j driver. Cool. So we've got the keys there, and then we've got like a get function to get any of the individual values on there. So I can say that the headers is props. That's records. So what we'll do is we'll say records is props. So it'll be the first record, and then we want the keys. So that's going to be like an array. So at the moment we've got match m return m there. So this will be an array that has m. So map, so it'll be key. And then we basically want to return a table header cell with the value of key. And because this is an array, we need to key that element as well. Cool, so now I've got that header, so we've got the m there. So if I said like m as movie, let's renamed it as movie there. So whatever we put in the return is going to be what's in the table, which is pretty cool. Cool, and then for the results, for the rows, so it's table.row for each of the inside of table.body. And then we've got the table.cell again. Be a value there. Cool. On Python Neo, I mean, give me a shout if there's anything that you particularly want to see. We can put something together. I mean, drop us a line, drop me a tweet, and sort of let us know. We can put something together for you. We have streams like every day of the week, so it could be, it could be something that we cover either in this session or in another session. Probably won't be this session because we're looking at TypeScript, but yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can jump on another day at another time and do a video for you. Anyway, cool. So basically, I want to turn these results into an array. So I want to do records.map, and then I'll have an individual row. So that'll be each of the individual movies. And basically, I want a table row and a table cell there as well. If I add that in there, so results. Cool. And basically, what I want to do is for each one of these, each one of the headers and each one of the keys I've got now, I want to build a new table cell. So I can say that cells is so row. So I've got a keys value on there. So again, that's an array. So that's going to be m as movie. So it's going to be that guy there. So I'm going to say map. So that'd be key. And I could just say, like, for example, for now, I could just return a table cell. And then I could just put inside there JSON stringify, and there'll be row dot get, and I can use that key to pluck the value. Again, so I guess what I want to do is I want to take the row and I want to take the index, and I can key this value as the index plus the key. So that always give me like a unique value there. I need to key that as well. So that's what that top arrow is saying. So I want the index for that. You can see you've got some info there, so it's kind of a bit muddled, but I mean it does a job. And Renato, so this is part of a series. So you can watch back on the YouTube channel. There's a playlist. So youtube.com/Neo4j. There is a playlist building web applications with Neo4j, Nest.js, and Typescript. So basically every week I do something like this, and all of the code that we've written so far, if you want to jump back and take a look, is up in this this repository on GitHub, adam-cowley/twitch-projects. Give it a star, give it a fork, and then basically we're working in the admin folder right now. Cool. Okay, so this is kind of we've got the info being sort of spat out at the moment. I guess I mean it's not pretty, is it really? So we want to make it look a little bit more interesting. So we want to give it a little bit of sort of interesting treatment. So this one I've drawn up the packages. So I guess we'll do like a list of all of the packages, and then some of the information that's around there. So if we take a look at the package, so this is the data model we've got at the moment. So we've got a basically a user will buy a subscription, and that is for a package. That package then provides access to one or more genres, and then the movies are listed inside those genres, and then we have all information that's connected to them. So we have a person, which could be an actor or a director, and they either acted in or directed a movie. So if we take a look at the packages, I guess it'd be something that like admin staff would want to sort of maintain and update. Maybe they want to change the duration, or they want to change something around that. But basically, we can just display a list. We can give some interesting information towards there. So we've got for this package, so we have this provides access to relationships. So it might be interesting to show how many genres, or even the genres that it provides access to. We can give a count of all of the people that have got a subscription to that package. I guess as well, we want to do some buttons that link to different places for like editing or something like that. So in order to achieve this, I mean, there may be a better way to do this, but the way that I'm thinking is that we can build a query out, and then we can, in the results, we can take each of the keys, each of the columns that's returned inside that result, and then turn that into its own column. So for example, I could say, give me the package. So it's the p.name, and that would just allow us to filter that down. So I could say like return m as movie. Replace that with so return p dot as package, and then we could say, for example, that we want the size of. If we take a look at the so we can basically get what's called like a degree account. So we can get the number of relationships that go into or out of a particular type from this package. So I can say, no, sorry, what was that? For package. I don't know what the data is like in this. We'll see, but I'm going to call that subscribers. And then we could, for example, use a list comprehension. So we can basically say, like, we've got provides access to, and that'll be to a genre node, and then we can say like g.name, that'll be genres. We'll take the first 10. So if we take a look back at the code here, so we've got this this package, we've got the subscribers, so that's a Neo4j integer at the moment, and then we've got the genres, which is just an array of strings at the moment. So I guess, like, in order to display these sort of interestingly, I guess what we could do is we could create, or we could edit the response. So we only pull out certain information, so we can sort of like pre-can the fact that this is an icon, this is the name of the node, and then like this is a caption, and we can put that into into semantic UI components. For this one, I guess we could call it like a count. So we could supply the count, and then we could supply an icon as well. Genres, I guess this would be like labels, so we can use a label. So kind of look a little bit like this. And then I guess for this, so it could be a button or it could be an action as well. So if we take a look at the code, we take a look at this. So instead of returning the node, what we could do instead is we could say so the type of this, and so let's call it like an overview. And then we can just fill in some information. So let's give it a link. So then we can click to go somewhere else. So I guess this would go to a certain route. P.id. We want the name to be p.name. For the caption, I guess we can make this kind of interesting. Have a label in there as well. Or an icon or something. So I guess we could say the icon. If we take a look at the icons, it comes with plenty. So I guess we just find one that looks. It's only for price. I mean, it's American, so there's going to be a $sign. That's fine. So we can just return that. And we want the text. And then for the information that we've got on there, so we've got the duration there, and we've got the name, which I guess we're already using. So we could say, no, so it's going to be p.price, and then it will be for so many days. So we can get the number of days from this this duration. So this is a like a native Neo4j type now. So we can say p.duration, and then there are some accessors on there, so we can take like months, we can take days, we can take hours and minutes. But because this is basically set in days, and the data was created in days, then we can just use that. So for the subscribers, we can say this is a type, we call that count. Always a dangerous thing to type on a live stream, and then we can say that number is the size of the degree count. And for this one, so we can say this is a type of labels. Let me say that the labels are these nodes. And instead of just returning a single property now, we can return a map instead. So I guess we want some text, which would be g.name, so name of the genre. We want the, I guess we could take like the class, and then we could somehow turn that into a like a CSS class. So say this is a label, and we use bomb, so to lower g.name. So we can use apoc.text.slug to turn that into a slug. So instead of it being, I don't know, some genre, it would then become some genre. So we can actually use it in CSS. Cool. I guess we could do like a link on that one as well. So we could do some sort of like standardization. We can send it to like a genres page. And then there's an ID on that genre. So we take a look at that. I need to set the query. Cool. So we've got this. Now we've got this kind of like this standardized format. So we're not looking at sort of like nodes themselves, but we're just giving it some sort of standardized response that we can use. So if I add that in there, that should update the table. Cool. So now we've got something that we can sort of we can react to. So we've got the package, we've got subscribers, and we've got genres there as well. So I guess as well, we probably want a an action button as well. I think that was in my display as well. So we just give this like a type of action. And then for the class, we could just give it some semantic UI classes. So we want this to be a primary basic button. So a primary button would be a blue background with white text, but a basic one is basically got the blue outline and blue text, but white background, so it's less dominating. The text we want that to be edit. Let's give it an icon as well, actually. So we give it, I guess there's a pencil in there. And then a link. So basically you just want to send it to the edit page. Cool, so let's start to flesh these out then. So we've got the cipher table result props. Start to build out some components. Now I'm going to build these all in the same file for now, but we'll do some refactoring offline and before I put it onto GitHub. So we'll call that a cipher table cell. So this will be the cipher table cell props. Cool. So first we're going to have a type. So the types we've got at the moment are basically a string, I guess, but we can create a type for that. So for now it's going to be overview, or it's going to be count, or it's going to be labels, or it's going to be action. And we can build this up as we need to go. I guess we just put like any string on there at the end, and then that'll be fine. So we're going to have a value, so that's going to be anything basically. Let's not worry too much about that at the moment. Actually, I suppose that's always going to be a record with string or any. So I need to rename this Neo4j record. It's a Neo4j record, so they don't sort of clash with each other. Cool. So type and value, we'll just extract that from the props. And I guess what we want to do here is just do like an if statement, just to pick out which one. So by default, we'll just return a table cell. I guess we want the key there as well, so we can do that outside. So we want a table cell where the key is the key. And then I guess we'll just do like JSON.stringify with the value in there for the moment, and then we can come back to that. Let's wrap it in a pre. And then make it pretty as well, just for now. So then we can return the ciphered table cell there, and we want the key. We want the value. Oh no, sorry, wrong one. Just want to keep those. So the cells will be a cipher table cell. So we've got the key there, we want the value. To be row.get key. Cool. We don't get the value from there. We get the value from we get the type. I don't want the key. The type is on the value, so it's that bit there. I return a row. And then in that row, I want to return the cells. And then cells is a cipher table cell with 2 items in there. So with the props, we want the key, and then we want the value, which is row.get key. We want the index in there as well, so we can add that as part of the key. Cool, and that is a variable, it's not a string. Cool, so now I've got the info in there, it looks kind of pretty at the moment. So we've got the type overview, we've got the caption, we've got the name, we've got the values there. Cool. So let's take a look at the type of overview, and then we'll put that one out. So we can create a new function for that. So cipher table overview. That is going to, I'm going to take value for that one. So the type is overview. I want to return a cipher. Overview, and then I want the value. Cool. So I want to create a table cell, basically return a table cell. And then inside that cell, I want it to look like this. So I've got the image to the left, or the icon to the left. I've got the title there, and then the details. So are there any tables that match what I'm looking for? So that's kind of close. So I've got this icon here. Cool. So I want to add an icon to this one as well. So is there anything under icons? So it's a package, box maybe, inbox, box, perfect. Cool. So in this cell, I want a link. So that comes from the React router. Router DOM. I want that to go to value.link, which will be this value here. Inside that, I want an icon. So the name of that icon is what I supply. So it'll be value.icon. And then I want a header. Inside there, I want value.name. Is there a subheader? Got the subheader there, so that will be the caption. So value.caption.text. And in there, I also want to add the icon in there as well. So I can add that in. For this one, I just want the size to be small at least. See what that looks like. Cool. Okay, so we've got the icon doesn't seem to be there. Cool. So we take a look down here. So we can do some sort of like stylized things to it. So I guess this kind of looks nice. It gives it a little bit of a feature there. So that's a circular icon. It's rounded, and then let's give it a teal color. There we go. Let's make it inverted as well. That'll give us the green background, the teal background. Cool, so that kind of looks nice. So I guess we could just do like just float this to the left. And then we'll give it a bright margin of only 6 pixels. Remove the margin from that as well. Fine, it'll do for now. Cool, so that's the package then. So if you click that link, then it goes to the packages route. It's quite nice. So for subscribers, we've got this count there. Let's give that an icon as well, actually. If we take a look. Users. Cool, so if we do a cipher table count, and then we'll add the key and the value in there as well. Again. So we want a table cell. We'll have an icon there. And then it will be value dot icon. And then we've got the value dot count. So you might have seen on here we've got this this number here. Kind of looks a little bit weird in the JSON returns. It's got a high and a low. So the reason for this, I probably say it every week. JavaScript integers don't really play well with Neo4j integers. So basically, there's a utility inside of the driver that stops it from losing its value. So if anything is above max safe integer or below min safe integer, it's basically like a 32 versus 64-bit integers, which are different in the two languages. So basically what we need to do is we need to call that the toNumber function on that in order to get the right value. So I'd call toNumber on that, and then that will give me my my result. So if the type is count, then I want to return the cipher table count. Oh, so it should be number. Cool. So we got that value there, and we got 0 there at the moment. Cool. So we've got the package. I'm just going to take margin off this as well. Cool. So the count there. So I want to change the size of that as well. I'll leave that for now. It's fine. It'll do. Cool. So we've got the count there. The labels. So that'll be our next one. Cipher table labels. Key value. So the labels, we can take that off of the value. And again, I want to return a table cell. I want to give that a key. I can't call that labels, can we? So we've got content. Labels.map label. And then that's just semantic UI label. We can give it a class name of label.class. Should be that one there, and then inside that we want to give that label.text. And then because we've got this link as well, then we can add that in there as well. So link to label.link. And I want to give that a key as well. So it'd be key plus label.text. Turn the content there. If it's labels, then we want to do labels. Cool. So there we've got animation, comedy, adventure, and family. It's good. So next one, I guess the last one we've got to do for the moment is this action. So function cipher table action. Cool. So for this, we want to return a table cell. This will be a link. And then to value.link. Value.text. So I want to give that a class name. Got the text. We've got an icon in there as well. So icon name is value.icon. So we've got the link. We've got the class. We've got the text and the icon. Cool, so now I've got that edit button there, which is cool. So if we look at that in full screen, yeah, it looks okay. I guess what we could do with this is we could slim this down a little bit. So for the labels, so we could take the length. And then, so we could just take like the first 5. And then the plus would be, so if, let's give that, turn that into a variable. So we're taking the first 5. So if the length is more than the limit, then we want to do plus. And then we want the limit minus length. So we want a length minus limit. We'll put a plus in front of that, otherwise we'll just do nothing. Cool, so it gives me 5 then, and then it gives me +2, +6, +10 for that one. It's much better now, this stays on one line. I guess for that we can sort of hide that. So I can do that in the headers. So if the key starts with action, then we guess we want to hide it. I'll show it. Cool, because the button kind of says what it does anyway. So change the text size while we're here. Semantic UI. No, okay, we'll leave that for now. So yeah, that kind of does what it needs to. Looks all right. So if we add a couple of roots in that we can, actually first we'll see, does this work? So if I put in an A, then it filters down, which is great, which is what we want it to do. Cool, so I can remove all of that. That debug there now. Cool, so I can create a new packages route. Cool, so there's my packages route. Let's do the same for genres as well. So what is interesting for a genre? So we get the packages that have access to it, and then the count of the genres, or maybe a list of the genres, maybe. List of the movies in there, we'll give it a count. Cool, so if we change that. So we've got an ID and a name in there. I guess we could say, give it a count of the movies in the caption, which might be quite nice. So it's in genre. And we want the packages. Cool, so if you go into the app, we can allow that to the router. So we want an exact to genres, and then we want the exact path to packages. So this will be genres, and this will be packages. Genres, packages. Cool, we can add the links to the top. Get the genres link. Cool, so if I go to genres, give me a list of all of the genres there. It gives me the, do that in full screen instead. It gives me the genre, and then it gives me the packages. There's no edit button there, so I can have one of those in as well. Nice edit button. Can we filter down on that? Is there better? Nice. Cool. We can click on those to go to those. And if we go to the packages route, we've got the packages, we've got the genres, Let's just give that a fire icon, maybe. Why not? Cool, and then let's order it by the name. Cool. Great. So that's how we can build components that react to the Neo4j results, and then display the just display the content out on screen. So all of this code will be cleaned up, and then in a couple of hours it will be up on GitHub. So if you're watching back on YouTube, then it's already there for you. So it'll be under the admin folder. What I'll do as well is I will build the app, build a release of the app, and then upload it as a tar file, so then you can download and you can import that into Neo4j Desktop. If you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to reach out. I am adam@neo4j.com, or you can get me on Twitter, Adam Cowley. Or you can join the Neo4j community forum and start a discussion there as well if you like. If there's anything you'd like to see as part of the streams, then feel free to reach out. And if there's anything that you would like covered, if there's anything that you would like added to the project, or any features that you think would be interesting on the stream, then please feel free to reach out, and we can see what we can do. Other than that, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking with me all the way through, and I'll see you next week for the next stream. Take care.